What is up, guys? Technicals here. It's Wednesday, which means that Qubic is switching its epoch. We're now entering into epoch 106. And so we're going to take a look at what we were able to mine for the past week, whether or not it makes sense to stay on Qubic. Did it beat whatever the next most profitable thing is, or our forecast of what that was, ZEPH. So we're going to go through the numbers, see if it continues to make sense to mine Qubic, or if we're going to switch on to something else. And if you've been mining Qubic and whatever you got, let me know in the comments below. Was it really profitable for you or not? Are you going to switch? Or are you going to stay on it? On the technicals, let's get into it. Before that, this video brought to you by Miner Bros. If you're tired of waiting around the shallow end of the pool and ready to go balls deep into ASIC mining, Miner Bros has you covered. The price you see is the price you pay to your door. No surprise duty bills, no tack on shipping. Use code TECHNICALS at checkout for $50 off every item you order. Go right now to cryptominerbros.com and use code TECHNICALS for $50 off. Oh goody, another spreadsheet video with a lot of noise going on in the background. I wanted to put this together because I think this is the fourth week now that we've been tracking Qubic, and I want to get the data out immediately because, you know, it's time to make a determination as to whether to stay on Qubic or get off. It's Qubic CPU mining coin, link in the description below over to Rabbit's guide on how to get it set up and mining it. But this week wasn't great because I added an additional 7950X3D build video on that coming out soon. So my total power on Qubic did go up, but only for about a 3-day period. I was able to find 17 solutions, which is the most amount of solutions I've been able to find, but my payout was significantly less. You can see here my payout history. I had 2 weeks where I was north of 8 million Qubic. This week though, 6 million. So not great. Qubic's price been going down. We've seen that going on, and it seems like after Wednesday there is a little bit of a dip because I think people are selling. We pulled the information from hashrate.no on ZEPH. Now I don't track it throughout the course of the week, and I can kind of guess as to what the profitability would have been. It looks like ZEPH was kind of up the past few days and kind of been coming back down. So it seems like it averaged out, but in comparison with apples to apples, since we only get the one payout on Qubic once a week, if we would have mined ZEPH an equivalent amount of time and sold it right now, then this snapshot kind of makes it equivalent, and you can be the judge on whether or not you think that's true or not. But over the past week, 7950X3D ZEPH revenue would have been about 94 cents, 66 cents for the 7900s, and 66 cents for the 5900X, pulling the same as the 7900. But that would have given us a total profit after electricity if we mined ZEPH 1738. If we take a look over at Qubic this week, our total Qubic hits per second hasn't changed. It's been pretty consistent. A lot of variance I find if you play with the threads, but it seems like silicon really matters because people have been commenting in the video that their equivalent processor is not getting, it's like 30, 40, 50 its lower than what mine gets, and I find that mine are lower than other people. So I think silicon really does matter because I have 4 rigs. I have 2 7950X3Ds and 2 7900s, so they're identical, but they do get different its with varying different threads. So I think silicon's really an issue there. So, long story short, our total revenue this week, $30 flat. Profit this week on Qubic, $20.63. If I sell right now. Now it takes another few hours to get the payout, and then however long it takes to get onto the exchange, and however long it takes to sell it, who knows what the price will be by the time I make it there. So maybe even like $18 or something like that. Overall, though, we see on the previous weeks, the previous epochs, Qubic was through the roof, way above ZEPH, 132% higher, 337% higher on the 7900X. But this week, it looks like it was higher, sure, not on the 5900X. The 5900X would have made more sense to mine ZEPH, but this week, just marginally higher. So I don't know if it's just the cumulative effect of people like me, because I'm such a huge channel, I'm having the technicals effect, and everyone's running to mine Qubic. If it's, kind of creating competition there, and I'm getting less reward, or if it's something else, if it's just, the price coming down so much, you could look at the historical price and what it would that 6 million Qubic would be worth, but the price kind of bleeding, less payout, less total percentage. So I guess that's what it is, because my total 17 sols only accounted for 0.44% of the revenue share versus previous epochs was like 0.66%. So yes, it's more profitable. It was more profitable to mine Qubic this week, but not by a lot. So whether or not it's worth it for you, I don't know. If you've been following this saga, you know, maybe people will see this and say like, oh, it's not really that much more profitable. I'm going to pull off. I'm going to go to Zephyr. Zephyr's got more headroom, more upside potential. And then maybe that, you know, decreases the difficulty or whatever the equivalent sort of function is there. And, you know, our total revenue share goes up. So I think for me personally, I'm going to stay on Qubic with my CPUs, because even if I do and we get to the end of next epoch and it was, you know, lower than the equivalent amount of Zephyr, I'm kind of subsidized because all these previous weeks was so much more profitable. I'm kind of subsidized for at least another 2 cycles or so, depending on the price, of course. If, you know, Qubic, you know, falls through the floor, then maybe we'll make a decision there. But as of right now, I'm going to stay on Qubic. If you've been following this process and you're mining Qubic, I'd love to know what's going on with you in the comments below. Be sure to like this video for more content like this. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already. I'm TheTechnicals. See you next time.